I've been making a very simple lunch. This is what I call a burrito bowl, but it could be like, a rice dish or whatever. And I'm going to show you, how I could recreate this even without fresh. Now, this is dried beans that I made in an Instant Pot. I could actually use my Instant Pot with a generator, but I can also have canned beans, or I can make the dried beans on the stove, soak overnight, all that stuff. Rice, I store rice, just dried rice. Corn, I could use freeze-dried corn, which I have, and canned corn, which I also have. Dehydrated corn is also an option if you want to dehydrate your own corn. A little less of a shelf life, of course. And then the cheese, I actually freeze-dry this exact shredded cheese, but you can get freeze-dried shredded cheese. Freeze-dried shredded cheese is really easy to rehydrate. I'll just show another video, but whenever I do a meal, I look at it and I go, how could I recreate this in the apocalypse? Because that's what we're doing when it comes to preparedness. We're looking at what we eat on a regular day and we're saying, how could I still have this meal in an emergency or SHTF or the apocalypse? Now, I say, how could I recreate this in the apocalypse? But that's just like a fun way for me to think about it. This is a crazy easy meal. I don't need bread, tortillas, or anything like that. You could have bread and tortillas if you'd so choose, but this is a great meal just on its own. You could also add, tomatoes and if you have any other fresh fruits and veggies. The last thing I'm going to add is lettuce. And I actually have a hydroponics right here that I can keep going. It's a little dusty. I haven't had it on for a couple weeks. That I can keep on using my solar generator. So I can continue to grow certain foods with that little tiny countertop hydroponics, which takes like no energy. I can also grow microgreens, which are a powerhouse of nutrients and would go perfect with this dish. And microgreens can grow on like so many things. So anyway, this is like the thought process that I'm going in. Well, how could I substitute this? How could I do that? So when you are thinking of the food to store, just look at what you eat on an everyday basis and say, well, how could I recreate this or continue to have this exact meal in an emergency or disaster? I mean, I've made pizza, with the freeze-dried shredded cheese. Pizza, okay? All you do is you make your pizza dough, you have canned tomato sauce, and then you have freeze-dried cheese. And if you want some other things like freeze-dried sausage, stuff like that, boom, you got yourself a pizza, okay? So the next time you cook something at home, think, how could I recreate this in the apocalypse? And then think about how much food you might need in order to recreate this meal once a week or something. That's a really easy way to stock up on your food storage. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to check out the rest of this 30 days of survival series, Conquering the World by Preparing. Today, getting you out there, rethinking what survival is, and getting you prepped. Let me know how you prepare for the apocalypse down below in the comments.